We'll declare the meeting open at 4:30 equal time. This council meeting is being recorded, and the recordings will be published on the Shire of Dundas website. The Shire of Dundas recognises Nudgee and Merning as traditional custodians in the Shire of Dundas and pay our respects to their elders past and present. Item 1.2, we do have two councillors attending by electronic means, Councillor Brown, Councillor Fleming. We do, because we're here, we will suspend standing orders 11.2 because we are not in our normal seat. So if I could have somebody move that for me.
I'll move that.
Councillor Warner, thank you. And second?
I'll second it.
Councillor Brown, well done. And everybody happy with that? Yep, those in favour? Yep, good vote, thank you. Item 2, do we have any financial interest?
Nil.
Any proximity?
Nil.
And impartiality?
Nil.
And gifts?
Nil.
No.
We are all here. Councillor Holman is an apology, and our Deputy CEO is an apology. We do have a public gallery. Item 4, do we have any applications for leave of absence?
No.
We have no response to questions taken on notice. So item 6, public question time. Do we have any questions from the gallery?
Yeah, that's anticipated.
Right.
It's horrible. Smaller and smaller, more difficult to actually get banks into it. If you go to water after the dirt, which is just decaying, disappearing, the humidity and rain that we keep getting. And I want to know if it's going to get altered. There have been massive things of sand that they are going to be moved, and we're going to go back to having a nice big detail.
If I may, through the chair, we'll go and do an inspection afterwards to see what you're referring to. So we'll go and do inspection and see what we can do to fix that. Yeah.
Secondly, I live on the street because at the moment the cul-de-sac goes down. We have a masses of rains coming out of my driveway is a nightmare. At twice now slammed my car into a bar because all of that soil, all the rocks have been loaded. Is there any way we can get that part of the area of pitch marks mulched, anything?
Which address is that?
Why it is? You know, my own one, the grass. It's getting worse. The rain's just going to keep coming.
Near where we blow the track off.
Roads.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Two jobs.
We'll go and have a look at that one as well.
In the last year too, it's the loss.
Yeah, so just through to the elected members, it's extremely hard to get somebody out here to do a job under $250,000.
Yeah.
So
But
they,
David, it wouldn't be concrete paths. So can that just not just concrete path? That's the case.
that could be, we can bring an item to council. So I'll take an item to council for approval. We'll go measure it up. Yeah. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
see what needs to be done, but I'll have to go and have a look and I'll put an item to them to vote on.
Okay.
Cool.
And tree lovers, when are they coming back? Because you can't walk past the nurse's house without getting your head slammed by a tree. It's completely over and it's just really dangerous.
We can certainly, that's a easy one. We're always in trouble for cutting off trees, so we can certainly be in more trouble to come here and cut a tree down. We'll go.
Trees that hold snakes, that's what I
Yeah.
don't like.
Okay, no, that's a fair call.
All righty. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right. Okay, item 7. 7.1, the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held 17th of February 2026. Cloud, thank you. And second,
Thanks, Sharon.
Councillor Brown. Anybody have any adjustments to make for those minutes? Everybody? We have a recommendation, the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council held on the 17th of February 2026 be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 8, reports of committees. Oh, don't do it now. For goodness sake. Okay, 8.1, point 1, the GBROC. So GBROC meeting was held on the 30th of January, hosted by City of Kalgoorlie-Boulder. David Bridges, who's the Executive Director of Goldfields Esperance Department of Communities. Bear with me, it just ran away. Introduced himself to the GBROC group and indicated that he is keen to get to know the stakeholders in our region and make himself familiar with the particular challenges we face here in relation to social and grow housing. We received an update from our Climate Alliance Coordinator, Nikki Curtis. A regional project is underway to equip Goldfields Esperance community evacuation centres with solar power and battery backup in preparation for submission to the upcoming Disaster Ready Fund. Our urban greening project has received the next payment of $342,293 from the $573,000 in grant funds, and preparations for on-ground activities in 2026 are already in progress. The charge-up grants for the EV charging stations in Menzies and Leonora have been approved, and the installation of those stations is scheduled to take place in the next few months. And further community water supply partnership programs grants will be made available in 2026. So we have actually received a grant under that scheme, and that was the one to put the tank at Bromus. The GEDC is progressing the next stage of regional water planning with underspend from the Regional Drought Resilience Plan to build a clear and robust evidence base of the region's non-potable water resources to inform all other foundational actions of the Regional Drought Resilience Plan and implementation projects. It is expected to get a request for quote out for wastewater treatment opportunities early this year, with potential to start works by March, April 2026. I think that might be a bit hopeful. It was noted that our GBROC MOU requires updating, and that work's now being undertaken. The GBROC noted the Murchison Country Zone of Walga resolution from their November meeting about issues relating to disaster recovery funding arrangements for flooding, and resolved to endorse the request from the Murchison Country Zone and to write to the Office of the Auditor General requesting they conduct a performance audit of the management of the disaster recovery funding arrangements in Western Australia, including looking at alternative models for delivery and funding that would improve performance. So a letter has been sent to the Office of the Auditor General in those terms. Submissions have been made to various Senate inquiries, including Australia's productivity, the aviation sector, particularly relating to the availability and cost of regional and remote air services, and local government funding and sustainability. The issue of the provision of funding for regional, rural and remote medical services is still an ongoing one. The latest call is for the state government to step up and fund housing for doctors who are working in WACS hospitals. The fact that local governments are in this space is another example of cost shifting from the state government. The proposed changes to legislation in relation to the rateability of certain miscellaneous licences has been an ongoing piece of advocacy. A debate began in the Upper House, which is the Legislative Council, this week. It's currently on hold to recommence in May. The GBROC wrote to every member of State Parliament to highlight the very real concerns and consequences of the passing of this bill. We gained a meeting with the State National Party and supported some amendments they've proposed. This legislation has been rushed through the lower house, and there's been no consultation with local governments who will bear the consequences of these amendments. In the time we've gained between now and May, when this bill returns to the Legislative Council to resume debate, we'll continue to lobby state parliamentarians to achieve a more equitable outcome for local governments. Just for anybody who's not aware, this all came about because a mining company decided to challenge a regional local government in the fact that the local government was going to rate them on the miscellaneous licence, and this company challenged them as to the legality of them doing that. So they went to the State Administrative Tribunal, and the State Administrative Tribunal gave them a wishy-washy answer, could have gone either way. They sort of didn't make a decision. So it ended up in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court justice found in favour of the local government and said that, yes, it is legal for local governments to rate miscellaneous licences. So the first thing that happened immediately after that was that AMEC, which is the mining and exploration companies, bounced into the minister's office and said, we're not happy with that idea. And she said, well, I'll just change the legislation so that they can't do it. So they've put up a bill that says that local governments won't be allowed to rate certain types of miscellaneous licences. And then they added salt to the wound by saying, and that will be made retrospective for the last 8 years, and you'll have to pay back all of the rates that you've already levied in that last 8 years. So that brings about a just disaster for the local government, because they've already planned all their budgets and all their, God, my voice is going. They've already planned all their budgets and all of that sort of stuff. They've been audited on those books and all the rest of it. Now they've got to go back and change every year and pay that money back, which essentially they don't have, because it's already been allocated to projects and community infrastructure. So basically, some of them are going to end up bankrupt if that goes through. So there's been no consultation with local governments at all. So there's a big push now that they've already rushed it through the lower house. So these guys are our only opportunity. Lap of the gods. We'll see how we go. But, anyway, that's what we deal with. Our next GBOC meeting will be next Friday, 27th of March, and that will be hosted by the Shire of Esperance. So we're all off to Esperance next Friday. In our Walga space, item 8.1.2, Walga held our State Council meeting on Wednesday, the 4th of March. Prior to the State Council meeting, we had a strategic forum during which we received an overview of the results of the Emergency Management Survey. The bushfires are still a major cost to local governments, and further advocacy in this space and emergency management in general will be formulated from those results. Mr. Tony Brown, who's the inaugural Local Government Inspector, provided an update on the new office of the Local Government Inspector and outlined his priorities and expected outcomes from that work. Rebecca Brown, no relation, from Walga, gave an overview of the current challenges in the waste management space. There's currently no update on a new waste infrastructure plan, which Walga will continue to lobby for. Walga also farewelled our President, Karen Chappell, who has served 4 years allowable in the role. Karen worked many long, hard hours. I don't think the woman slept, actually, for the local government sector, and her contribution was acknowledged, and she was sincerely thanked for her efforts. The next important item of business was to elect a new president and deputy president of Walga. So under the Constitution, the new president had to come from the alternate jurisdiction to the previous one. So hence only Metro members of the State Council were eligible to nominate for the president's role. There were 6 candidates for the position, with the City of Stirling Mayor Mark Irwin becoming our new president. Consequently, the role of deputy president was filled from within the ranks of the country's own members, with Shire of Northern President Chris Antonio being chosen to fill that role. The State Council has considered 6 flying minutes since our last meeting, including the state budget submission, land and development planning reforms, Work Health and Safety Act reforms, the draft waste strategy, and a submission to the inquiry into local government fiscal sustainability and sector consultation on local government electoral reforms. The new policy team chair appointments were endorsed. State Council supported 2 new advocacy positions on the aviation industry. Those were broadly that regional airports operated by local governments have proportionate regulatory frameworks to work within and receive targeted funding, and that regional areas have access to reliable, affordable and equitable air services, including for emergency management, with greater oversight of airline pricing policies. Our next State Council meeting will be held on the 7th of May, and that will be hosted by the Central Country Zone at the Shire of Pingelly. Regional Road Group 8.1.3. The next Regional Road Group meeting will be held in Kalgoorlie next Thursday, the 26th of March. We have had a technical working group meeting. It was held on the 13th of March. Matt Walker from the Shire of Esperance has been appointed the new chair of that group. 8.1.4 Roadwise. Councillor McLeod.
The meeting date was the 5th of March. In attendance was myself, Linda Parsons, Sharon Brown, Carnia Turner, and Peter Fitchett. Key matters considered were things like vision statement development. Some members from the Roadwise Council were nominated representatives to form a working group responsible for developing a draft Roadwise vision statement. The draft will then be presented to council for consideration at a future meeting. Road safety goals and existing and proposed road safety goals were discussed with a focus on reviewing current priorities and identifying areas for improvement that align with our Border Council strategies. Next meeting will be the 14th of April.
Thanks, councillor. Item 8.1.5, LEMAC. The LEMAC meeting was held on Wednesday, the 18th of February. Councillor Brown.
Yep, the agencies were all well represented, both in teams and in person. The damage to the Hyde and Norseman Road from Tropical Cyclone Mitchell was discussed. Of prime importance was the water sustainability and vulnerability risk identification, which I believe was continued today at the next LEMAC meeting. Kaiguna airstrip lighting was discussed with no decision coming to, as the funding is only advertised in rounds, and only items of high state importance or an emergency can be considered in between the sessions of RADs. The local emergency management arrangement, LEMA, Walga is working with everybody to get council endorsed and officer managed roles separated so that the strategic governance is better covered. There's been an introduction of new templates, and Walga is acting as a coordinating body, inputting into the state emergency management plan and I can't even read my own writing, sorry, framework revision. The review will cover the state emergency management framework, WA community evac arrangements and development plans. Agency updates included an extra probationary officer for Northern WA POL. The DFAS regional volunteer training calendar is being finalised. St John's WA advised that a new permanent paramedic will be in St John's in Norseman. The Eucla nursing post posed a question of sealing the Eucla airstrip. Norseman Hospital reported that a new overseas recruited nurse had been employed. And pertinent to Eucla, Simone will be leaving Eucla at some point in 2026. That means there's no DFAS volunteers in Eucla. Next meeting is in today. So the next one will be 2 months away now.
Yeah,
As we
April
brought it
21st.
forward. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, it's not the 21st of April, that's our next council meeting. When did we decide?
It'll be in June.
June, that's right. June.
17th of June.
In Norseman.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. 8.16 is the coastal management planning strategy. So we're just waiting on the structural report on the shacks to be finalised, and then we'll get a meeting date from that. And then our Dundas Economic Development Working Group, the meeting date for that is to be advised also. Okay, item 9, announcements by me. I don't have any. Item 10, 10.1.1, Shire of Dundas submission on the draft renewable energy planning code. Recommendation is on page 10.
I'll move that.
That's on the cloud. Councillor Warner, thank you. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor McLeod?
No.
Councillor Warner?
No, thank you.
Anybody like to speak against it? Or for it? Okay, we have a recommendation. Let's get to read these on. That Council 1 authorises the CEO to lodge the submission with the Western Australian Planning Commission prior to the close of the public consultation period. 2, requests that the issues identified in the submission be raised through regional advocacy channels, including the Goldfields Voluntary Regional Organisation of Councils, that's our GBROC, and the Western Australian Local Government Association, WOLGA, including that local governments retain a meaningful role in decision-making for projects within their boundaries with greater thresholds or conditions on state-only determinations. Enforceable community benefit and engagement obligations must be integrated into statutory planning instruments. Strengthened rehabilitation, decommissioning and financial assurance provisions to protect local environments and councils from long-term liabilities. Mandatory independent environmental, cultural heritage and socio-economic assessments for ultra-large-scale projects such as the Western Green Energy Hub before planning approval decisions, especially if these projects are not viable without subsidised federal funding. And explicit recognition and protection measures for fragile landscapes, example, the Nullarbor Karst system, Aboriginal cultural heritage sites and unique ecological values. Those in favour? 3, 4, 5, thank you. Item 10.2, 10.2.1, financial statements for the period ending 31st of January 2026.
I'll move that recommendation.
Councillor Warner, thank you.
I'll second it.
Councillor McLeod. Anything to report, Mr. CEO?
No, we're travelling well. Councillor, do you have any specific questions on that? Quite
Anybody
happy.
have any questions on the financials?
We do have one overrun,
One red spot.
one red dot, but that will be adjusted. There's a couple of items booked to it that will be journaled out and it'll come to council for approval.
Yeah.
In the budget review.
Okay, we have a recommendation that the Shire of Dundas financial statements for the period ending 31st of January 2026 be accepted. Those in favour? All right, thank you. Item 10.2.2, the accounts paid the 1st of the 1st 26 to the 31st of the 1st 26. The recommendation is on page 21.
I'll move it.
McLeod, thank you. And second,
I'll second that motion.
Councillor Zimmerman, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Nothing.
We have a recommendation that the Shire of Dundas monthly accounts paid from the 1st of the 1st 26 to the 31st of the 1st 26 be noted. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.2.3, the accounts paid the 1st of the 2nd 2026 to the 28th of the 2nd 2026. That recommendation was on page 33.
I'll move that.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. In second,
Yeah, I'll second that.
Brown, thank you. Any questions on that one?
No.
No. We have a recommendation that Shire of Dundas monthly accounts paid from the 1st of the 2nd 2026 to the 28th of the 2nd 2026 be noted. Those in favour? Thank you. 10.2.4, receive the information bulletin. Recommendation on page 35.
Move.
Councillor Fleming, thank you.
I'll second.
Got a seconder, got a firster, sorted, thank you. We have a recommendation that council receive the monthly councillors information bulletin for the period ending the 3rd of March 2026. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.2.5, sale of properties with unpaid rates, the use of the common seal, recommendation on page 37. Councillor McLeod, thank you. And second,
Yep.
Fleming, thank you. Shall I speak to that, Councillor McLeod?
That's all. Thank you.
Councillor Fleming?
Seeing that it was a very good result, I thought.
Thank you. Okay, we have a recommendation that Council 1 notes the previous council resolutions relating to the sale of land for non-payment of rates. 2 notes that the properties subject to those resolutions have now been sold through the statutory sale process. Authorises the Shire President, Lorraine Bonser, and CEO, Peter Fitchett, to affix the common seal to all transfer documents and associated settlement documentation required to complete the sale of the properties. Those in favour? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Item 10.2.6, the removal of policy C2, the gym agreement policy. Recommendation is on page 38.
I'll move that recommendation.
Councillor Warner, thank you. And second,
I'll second it.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. Do you want to speak to that, Councillor?
No, thank you.
Councillor McLeod,
No, thanks.
anybody like to speak against it? No. We have a recommendation that Council 1 revokes policy C2, the gym agreement policy, and 2 notes that relevant operational information will be updated and incorporated into an internal operational procedure. Those in favour? Thank you. Thank you. Item 10.2.7, the Norseman Community Resource Centre financial statements for the period ending the 28th of February. Recommendation is on page 41.
I'll move that.
Councillor Warner, thank you. And second,
I'll second it.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. Any questions?
No.
CRC is doing quite nicely. Yep. We have a recommendation that the Norseman Community Resource Centre financial statements for the period ending the 28th of February 2026 be accepted. Those in favour? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have a confidential item, 10.2.8. So can I have someone move that we proceed behind closed
I'll
doors?
move it.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. And second,
Brown.
Brown, thank you. Anybody want to speak against doing that?
No.
No. Those in favour?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, public gallery, you're out. The motion is that we appoint the assessed providers as included in confidential attachment 2 to the Shire's 2026 panel of providers for a period of 2 years from the 1st of March 2026 to the 29th of February 2028, with a possible single year extension, excluding the one contractor identified as breaching the code of conduct. And that was unanimous. Thank you. Councillor McLeod, Councillor Brown come from behind, and all in favour and 501. Okay, item 10.3.1, officers' report. Recommendation is on page 43.
I'll move it.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. And second,
Second that.
Councillor Warner, thank you. Manager of Works and Services, you're the only man here, so have you got anything to add to your report?
No, I think nothing to add.
Nothing to add? Anyone have any questions? Don't make them hard questions, he's just back from holidays. Okay. We have a recommendation that the Shire of Dundas Council receive the Works and Services and Woodlands Cultural Community and Visitor Centre reports as contained in papers relating. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.3.2, the request to support ABS presentation and advocate for service population recognition. That recommendation is on page 46.
I'll move it.
Councillor McLeod, thank you. And second,
Yeah, I'd do that.
Councillor Brown, thank you. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor McLeod?
No, thanks.
Councillor Brown?
No, I think it's self-sufficient.
Okay, anybody like to speak against it? Right, so we have a recommendation that Council 1 supports the proposed deputation by the Australian Bureau of Statistics to present at the April 2026 Walga Zone meeting regarding census participation and regional population measurement. 2, acknowledges that the current place of usual residence methodology used in the national census does not adequately reflect the true service population experienced by remote and regional local governments, such as the Shire of Dundas. 3, advocates for the development of a service population metric within national population data sets that better captures the impact of FIFO and resource sector workers, freight corridor traffic and transport operators, highway travellers and grey nomads, seasonal tourism and transient populations, temporary workforce accommodation villages. 4, requests that the West Australian Local Government Association consider this matter as a future state advocacy item and progress it through the Walga State Council policy process. 5, requests Walga to advocate to the Australian Government in partnership with the Australian Bureau of Statistics for improved recognition of service populations within census data sets and Commonwealth funding methodologies, including financial assistance grants allocations. And 6, encourages other remote and regional councils, including those within the Goldfields Voluntary Regional Organisation of Councils, to support this advocacy to ensure infrastructure planning, emergency management and service delivery funding better reflect the true population burden experienced by regional communities. Okay, those in favour? Thank you. Everybody get what we're putting down there, the effect of that, because the census data only reflects your place of usual residence. So areas like Shire of Dundas, where we have a lot of miners and people travelling through that we still have to provide services for, that's not counted in our funding that we get from the federal government. All of those people don't count, so we don't get any extra funding to prop up our services to cater for that many people. So we're just trying to get the ABS to include that data set of all of those extra people that we deal with, which they don't currently do. Okay, item 10.3.3, the Walga sector consultation on electoral reform. Recommendation is on the bottom of page 49. I'll move that recommendation. You, Sharon?
Yeah, sorry.
Councillor Warner, thank you. And second? Anybody? I'll second it. Want to speak to that, Councillor Warner?
No.
I'll speak to it. I think the full spill, I think, won't be too serious in position on us. I think that'll work okay. I do think that we need to retain the voluntary voting, because if we go compulsory, then that will increase costs, because the current methodology of the WAEC is that it's a per head count to work out what the cost of the election will be. Yeah, I think that'll work okay. All right, we have well, does anybody want to speak against it?
Not so much against it, it's just in relation to that same point. I just thought it would be nice to maybe, if it was compulsory, it makes people come off the keyboard a bit more and actually have their say, you know, in other ways, and then they're accountable for what happens because they've had their input. That's all.
Yeah. There is that.
And if I may, I don't agree with the full spill.
Thank you, Doug. All right, well, at this stage, we have a recommendation that Council supports transitioning to full spill local government elections every 4 years in Western Australia, supports retaining voluntary voting in local government elections, and provides Council endorsed feedback to Walga supporting a 4-year election cycle, authorises the CEO to submit the Shire's response to Walga prior to 27th of March 26 to inform Walga's advocacy on local government electoral reforms. Those in favour? And against? That is carried. Item 11, we have no elected members' motions. Item 12, we do have a late item. So can I have someone move that we accept the late item?
I'll move it.
Councillor Clark, thank you.
Second that.
Councillor Brown. And those in favour? Oh, thank you. Okay, the late item is request to support lowering speed zones at the air highway truck stops.
I'll move that.
Councillor Warren, thank you. And second,
Oh,
Sorry, go on, yeah.
We'll get it Monday.
would you like to speak to that, Councillor
I
Warren?
just think it's a start, but there's more to be done there.
Thank you, Councillor McLeod.
Yeah, I think it's a good
I
idea.
agree. Yeah, just hope there's a little bit more pre-warning for a lot of travellers, just due to lack of fatigue and all the rest of it. It's a long distance and things like that. So yes, maybe a lot more pre-warning for these things would be great.
Yep. Anybody want to speak against it? No, we have a recommendation that council endorses the Shire of Dundas support for the installation of 80-kilometre speed zones at roadhouse frontages along the air highway as proposed by Main Roads Western Australia, recognising the safety benefits for all road users, including freight operators, grey nomads and other long-distance travellers. Those in favour? Thank you. Okay. Our next ordinary meeting of council is scheduled to be held at 6 p.m. on the 21st of April 26 in Norseman. We have no further business, so I declare the meeting closed at 5:10. Thank you.